Time to find your harmony. Here it comes. You tried to avoid it, but you took it on the chin. Yeah, that's right. Earthbend this. Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed was won by Temur Excruciator, a pretty awesome deck, but you know what? The second place deck wasn't on people's radars either, and completely surprised the meta with a brand new one-hit kill combo. Hello, it's me at CGB, and today we are playing Mightform Harmonizer Full Bore Combo. What the heck does this mean? Well, from basically an empty board aside from land, on turn 5, you can just one-shot the opponent completely using this card, Full Bore. This Edge of Eternities combo, in fact. Full Bore says for 1 red, this instant gives target creature you control +3/+2 until end of turn. If that creature was cast for its warp cost, it also gains trample and haste. So specifically good with warp, we look at a warp creature in the format named Mightform Harmonizer. This is a 4-mana 4/4 insect druid that warps for 3 and has the landfall ability of whenever a land you control enters, double the power of target creature you control until end of turn. That's right. This one's for the Timmies. We are making big monster insect druid. So the idea is that you cast the Mightform Harmonizer for the warp cost and use Full Bore upon it, creating a 7-power creature. Then you play a land that fetches, a fetch land. You play a Fabled Passage or an Escape Tunnel, and you get a landfall trigger, making this a 14-power creature. Then you sacrifice that Fabled Passage or Escape Tunnel to go get another land to enter the battlefield, which, using the trigger, targets the Mightform Harmonizer, which has 14 power, which means now it has 28 trample haste power. Yeah, they still only have 20 life in this format. They're dead. They're dead, which is why you can play this bizarre Temur shell that runs a lot of card draw and interaction. So just when you thought we were some silly Timmy combo, what we're also going to do is cast cards like Burst Lightning and a copy of Thunder Magic to kill the opponent's early creatures. We're going to counter some of their spells with Spell Snare and Detect Intrusion, Spider Sense. We're also going, excuse me, sorry, Through the Omen Pass still breaks my mind and gives me the hiccups, apparently. We're going to use cards like Seer to remove their things, Into the Floodmaw to bounce their things. We're going to play a control game for about 4 turns. Then we just end it. You know, with a combo. It's kind of wild. Consult the star charts and stock up are the card advantage cards that let us sift through our deck and get the combo together, so we're not playing an all-in nonsense pile. And then analyze the pollen helps us also find a harmonizer once we can use the evidence. And then we got some other pieces, just a little landfall going on. We got Earthbender Ascension. The other creatures in the deck are Ice Till Explorer 3 copies, which also helps set up a double trigger on the Harmonizer. And we've got 1 copy of Wistfulness for the vibes. It's here for vibes. And then down here we have Ba Sing Se and Earthbender Ascension over here to earthbend a few lands, which can also help us execute the combo when earthbended onto a fetch land to get even more triggers. Maybe we need more power to break through a thick board. That happens. There is a sideboard, so be warned, if you go in here and craft this deck with the craft all button, you may end up with a Suruk, the elusive hunter that you never invited to the party. But there are a lot of commons and uncommons in the deck, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of the more budget-friendly alternatives for the meta, since it also requires basic lands to be good with cards like Escape Tunnel and Fable Passage. But you guys let me know. You're the experts on budget. I don't add up my wild cards. I just do my dailies. And then I have infinite money. It's easy. Just have no life. What's wrong with that? All right. Let's see if this works in best of 1. Let's see if the meta is prepared for it, since it made it to the finals of the Pro Tour. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. Oh my goodness, do I love punching that smug punchable Tezzeret face. I mean, they're not going to get away with much, but we don't have many lands either. I think you're just supposed to keep this and play the control game, because in best of 1 in particular, at least you're not going to lose fast. You're not going to lose. There's no way I'm going to lose to some silly little cub deck. snare you. Actually, do we? Man, if they go 1-drop into 1-drop here, I'm gonna feel stupid. I could burst this, untap, have burst available, but also snare. Part of the issue we have is Ouroboros coming, right? I think I save snare for Cub. No, they might never draw Cub. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Just don't overthink it. It's just the freaking Cubs, man. They get in my head. Good draw. This enters tapped unless you control a basic land. Well, let's save the escape tunnel to go with Harmonizer. Let's use a burst lightning now. Get rid of Pollunator. Yeah. Let's make the little things go away. Uh-huh. And they have another mana open for something? They just did the same thing. Okay. Weaver down. Play this tapped, I believe. Seems good. Save Seer for Ouroboros. Or Weaver number 3. Do we just let them have these for a turn or two? Like, we can match up with these. If they can't get bigger, I shouldn't be afraid. And if they don't have Cub, I shouldn't be afraid. That's the combo. Next turn is the combo. We're fine. Everything's fine. Just don't let them have 1,000,000 power and toughness. We got this. We didn't draw any card draw. We just drew the combo. Sometimes that happens. What the hell are you? You may have this enter as a copy of a creature on the battlefield. Okay. You have 2 pollinators. That won't be enough toughness. Let's go Timmy time, baby. We're going full bore. Do you watch the Pro Tour? Do you know you are dead? Do not sack it for the unblockability. The outcome would be sad. Straight out of the warp zone. Dead. A perfect illustration of why this deck is a gift from the Lords of Magic the Gathering to the combo / Timmy hearts out there in best of 1 standard. Was that your Cub deck? Were your cute mana creatures destroyed? Were you attacked for 28? See how they like it. See how they like their numbers go burr. Well, here's a number that went burr better. And they're very upset. The brilliant Jay Griff is incredibly upset by this development. What kind of a degenerate attacks for 28 on turn 5? This is the thing. This is the thing nobody out there wants to talk about. You guys complain when my control decks take a long time. You cry that I don't have a real win con and I'm not playing the game. But look, you're also going to cry if I just kill you on turn 5. The bottom line, you're going to cry if you lose. That's the bottom line. And that's why I don't feel bad for you. It's like me. I'm going to cry if I win or lose. I'm a YouTuber. Is there anything more embarrassing than that? Let's go. Time to find your harmony. Here it comes. You tried to avoid it, but you took it on the chin. Yeah, that's right. Earthbend this. Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed had a ton of new decks in the top 8. Like, a ton. That really surprised people. It doesn't feel like Magic Arena has adjusted at all, to be honest. This hand looks like it could possibly combo on turn 4 or on the draw, but we have Floodmaw. So maybe Floodmaw can keep us from dying. Like, dude, the Cubs are everywhere. We play the starting town. We could draw multiple starting towns in a row. We also want to get the land to turn these on, right? No, I don't need it. They're Temur. Okay. I don't need to play a town here, but I also don't need to bounce this elf. Oh, look at you. Look at you, you fancy devil. Target. Right there. Impressive. You want to play something else too? God, I hate this game sometimes. All right. Very impressive. I mean, wow. Well, I guess I bounce you. Now they only have 6 mana next turn. Well, that's a big draw. If we kill a mana dork, this taps for 3. They have 4 mana next turn. If I kill a cub, they have 5 mana next turn. I mean, their deck is full of mana dorks. I don't expect this to work for the long term, but I need 2 turns. Do I get 2 turns against Boroid? Taking 6 here. Next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4. 14. No, I do not. So I am dead. Yep, that was a game. A removal spell, an interactive spell, and I died. That was cool. The Cub deck's overall at a losing record because once again, for the second Pro Tour in a row, the entire meta was built around them. I still think that Cub will get banned. I don't know when, but I do think that that is a reality. The card literally should not exist. It's probably the most pushed standard card since VV. And if it had existed years ago, like, it would, like, imagine it like in a Khans of Tarkir era standard, it wouldn't be close. The very thought of it existing then is a joke. So I still think you're spending your mythics and your money on a dead card. The card is going away. If every Pro Tour meta revolves around it for 2 years, they'll do what they did with Up the Beanstalk. They'll ban it just because, quote, it's been done too many times, or whatever reason they used on Up the Beanstalk. Cub's not making it 3 years. I do think your commander decks will love it. Like, why not? So what are we up against? Elementals. Another new deck to come out of the top 8. Nice to see something other than Cub that was played at the Pro Tour. Something I'm sure I'll be playing in the near future when my mythic wildcards feel like being incinerated by all these Evoke Elementals. But the Elemental deck is pretty cool. I think that blew a lot of people's minds. The bottom line is that for now, Badger Mole Cub is very beatable if the meta specifically dedicates itself to beating it. And the pro decks have. The events outside of the pro, like events, Worlds and the Pro Tour, have not. And that's why Badger Mole wins every Spotlight series and dominates all these like online things. So that's the reality you get to cope with. Depending on how you feel about Badger Mole Cub. I don't think there's really a defense for that card. I honestly think it's one of the most glaring mistakes we've ever seen. And I am talking about Vivi as well when I say that. I'm going to wait for 2 cards. I'm not under pressure here. And save the fetch lands. Then go with your Harmonizer. Cavern Names Elemental. The Elemental deck is a good matchup against the Cub deck because they can Sunderflock. We'll see if we run into that. It's not good against us. It's just a cheap 5/5 that adds to the board. But Sunderflock bounces the whole board, which is how they mess up with Cub. Which is how they mess with Cub. All right, our opponent is feeling wistful. They're just going to get some cards. And you can see here, like, we're not really afraid of this. Let's see if we can find our combo all at once. Nope. But we do find Bossing Say and Ice Till Explorer to really get our lands cooking. Go get a blue. So we have Flood Maw open. Passage up again. Now we can go get a red. There's no reason to do it right this moment, though. Because if we don't end up using the Burst Lightning, we might want the landfall trigger. There's the Flock that will bounce the Explorer. Okay. So they've got their 5/5 flyer. Do I bounce the Flock? The fact that it's in the air is a problem, whereas the Wistfulness I might be able to chump, but I think it's all bad. I'm just gonna make the tempo play now. Yeah, Elementals ran Pyroclasm. I mean, guys, you can't tell me this doesn't revolve around the Cub meta. All right. Let's go get green. Would be a little awkward if we milled out our combo. In fact, we don't have a lot of graveyard interaction in general now that Pollen's gone. So I think I'll even make this land drop without milling just in case. Another Explorer. Probably should have held up Bossing Say in a green. I could have Earthbended onto this passage, and that is how I can keep blocking Wistfulness. But I should have the mana to do it next turn. 3-turn clock from Sunder Flock. Kind of scary. You don't really want to thin your deck either, because if you have no lands to fetch later, you'll regret it. There's Consult. Okay. You... Value. Wistfulness in the bin. Green. We'll go with a colorless and a blue. Earthbend onto Tunnel. Tunnel can also give Ice Till unblockable, and with enough landfall triggers lined up, you can still kill the opponent with Mightform Harmonizer and no full bore, but it's hard. Like, it's very scary. Okay, so we're gonna Consult. We don't need to do it now, right? We don't have to go for it now. If we hit it, would we win? No. So we need 2 cards, so let's wait. And I don't think they'll kill me this turn. I think we have one more turn before we have to go for it. And then we have an interesting choice of whether or not to wait on Consult till we have 2 more lands on the field to see 12 cards instead of 10. So we have to do the math there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would get us a Harmonizer, full bore, and the land drops, and we'd see 2 more cards. The issue is if we Consult into Consult, then we start running low on mana. But right now, Harmonizer's enough, I think. Even with just a 2/2, go to... How many landfall triggers do I need? 4. Go to 4. Go to 8. Go to 16. Go to 32. That's 4. This is 1, 2, because of Bossing Say Earthbending. This is 3, 4. This is 5, 6. So I can right now use a Tunnel for unblockability. I just need a Harmonizer. That's all I need. And discard a Braider. So, by the way, they also tend to play Bounce Off. That is the card. That is the card that will probably keep us dead. Or make us dead. We've definitely seen enough cards that having a Bounce Off is reasonable. That is the card we have to at least consider if we can find a way to play around. Last basic. I think I decline then. I need a... like having a land in the deck might be crucial. Decline. Go to 5. You can tell, like, the opponent is playing at a pace, not a fast pace, and it's probably because they know that they're closer to dead. Because if they have this elemental deck, they probably watch the Pro Tour as well. So they know there's a decent chance they are dead. So they're going to try to hold up one bounce off. We need to find... Spidey Sense doesn't do it. Snare doesn't do it. We needed it like a spell Pierce. But I don't think we're going to have it. I think I consult now. Because I need to find a way to create multiple turns here. If I find 2 Harmonizers, there's no way to also get 2 full bores. But if I Earthbend onto a passage and attack with that, would 2 Harmonizers be enough to make 2 lethal threats? It's close. Remember, I only have 1 basic in my deck. Icefall is 2 land drops. That's 4 land drops. 4 is enough off a 2 power creature. Ooh. Rude. Okay. Okay. Big draw. Not what we needed. And there's no way to see another card, and we can't remove this. Well, that was a fail state. What a detect intrusion from the opponent. Ouch. Yeah, you see the need of these counter spells. That's the kind of stack interaction that's tough to beat. On the play, is this good? No interaction. Guys, it's stock up. On the draw, I'd have to mulligan it. Best of 1 rule, but I think I can try it here. And I think I have to fetch with the tunnel. With it in the graveyard, the Harmonizer will figure it out, right? Just gonna do it now. Needs double green for an Ice Till. All right. It hurts a little with the Explorer, but for the most part, we don't need our graveyard. It's your go. You're holding priority for nothing. Thank you. Thunder Magic. 2 damage to target creature. I'll have it ready. Why not? You want to be able to cast a stock up protected, so whatever bat they play, you want to kill. They do not play a bat. Or the passage is there. I don't really want to play it next turn though. But I should probably take Snare just to counter a Shoot the Sheriff. With the Ice Till, I think we'll be okay, right? Passage goes to the graveyard. I don't get a chance to replay it, so they could use the Lantern. We'll see. But I just need 1 more land, and it's a 28 land deck. I don't really want to play the Passage, though, if they're going to exile it. There you go. There you go. That works. Play you. We'll probably see them kill it. Them killing the Ice Till is fine. We don't need to snare that or respond to that. Interesting. And we draw the land. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Warp. If they have 2 removals, they're good. I did it in the wrong order, didn't I? I can still respond to it, though. I'll target here. Resolve the mill. They're thinking about their lantern. What you got? I didn't even have to counter a Doomblade. I don't feel like I got to know their deck very well. On the play. Let's see what happens. Do we escape tunnel? We have blue and red, not green. Oh, I think I'll just get green. It's in the graveyard for Ice Till for later, unless of course our opponent's also Soul Guide Lantern Master. Not gonna lie, that surprised me a bit last time. All right, we're going into turn 2, so Spell Snare might be really useful. So let's have blue. $18. Obnoxious. What do I want to be? 2 more mana or enter tapped? I mean, honestly, I think it's just the full bore. I don't think I need to be in a rush on this combo. Am I stupid? I might be stupid. Especially since now I'm holding up Spell Snare for nothing. And I'm going to take 4 next turn, casting my stock up. I hate it. All right, I'm going to choose Seer. Since I can't play my 2-mana spot removal this turn, it's going to be off turn in the future anyway. Oh my goodness. Okay. I mean, they came prepared with 2-mana cards. Ugh, ugly draw. All right. Need a land. There is a tunnel in the graveyard. We just have to make sure we can do this. Let's grab these 2. This is good. This goes well with the Explorer. If we get enough lands, this won't be a problem. Jeez. What a curve out. Oh, we're getting best of 1, aren't we? Should have just exiled that. Okay. Definitely full bore now. We're not going to do our combo on time unless we get really lucky. Man, this has been a horrible game. Like, their deck has literally had to do nothing but play the lowest common denominator card. I don't think I'd take the counterspell shields down here, actually. I think I'd take 6. Seer on end step. Buys me another turn. Okay. Of course it's a 3. But it is a good Floodmaw target. We need a blue. I think it's worth it. I'm not going to win if we don't try. The blue did not arrive. Yep. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's a way to win a game of Magic. Whatever their pile is, it worked. Rant brought to you by Cool Stuff Inc. and Dragon Shield. Use promo code CGB5 on both sites. The Badger Mole Cub meta allowed decks to succeed that don't succeed in an open meta at the same rate. Harmonizer like absolutely splattered the Pro Tour, and it wasn't because people didn't know how the combo worked. This is open deck list, so they knew that they could die on turn 5 to the combo. It worked because their decks didn't do anything else. Like that's the point of this whole thing with these decks. With the Badger Mole Cub decks. They just don't do anything else. All they do is cast their Cubs, make a bunch of mana, leverage that into some kind of power and toughness win, whether it's Craterhoof or in some other way. So they didn't have a way to pivot. But we saw, like, so far playing this deck, you've seen even against really weird piles of just odd creatures, we're losing games. And why are we losing them? because the deck isn't designed to beat those odd piles. It's designed to beat Cub. Now, Cub can still go first, draw a whole bunch of creatures, do its thing, while we just wait for our Harmonizer to show up, and maybe it won't. Let's find out. That is par for the course. That is magic. Are we going to get Ouroboroded here? Should we have killed the Cub? Or should we have waited to see if they drop Ouroboros? Some versions don't even play Ouroboros. Some versions use all their Cub mana to get more Cubs with Rhythm, Nature's Rhythm. Here we go. And then they go get Crater Hoof. So killing the Cub against those decks is correct. We don't know what we're up against. We don't have the Pro Tour open deck list insights. And we are dead. Cool. If we don't die, we could just top deck Harmonizer and win. It's possible. All right, they run Ouroboros. How about that? But yeah, you just end up with these weird Pro Tours that don't reflect the meta you and I deal with at all. And this deck is a perfect example of that. We can beat Cub. We chose an odd time to not be able to find Harmonizer, but that happens too when you run combo. So this deck is not going to be a 70-some% win rate deck that it was at the Pro Tour. The meta's not the meta of the Pro Tour. What you will find from a deck like this is probably, like every other best of one deck, tries to get a slight edge on that 50% win rate that most of us end up locking into. Let's get this down because next turn we might passage, next turn we might that. Okay. So I'm taking one here so I can consult next turn, so I can stock up the next turn. And we're already facing a Needlehead. By the way, mono red basically non-existent in the meta as well. But here we go. And this is not the card you want to draw in this matchup. Terrible. Terrible. Okay, a basic is nice. I don't think they can kill me. So we need interaction and we need full bore. No full bore and no interaction. Guys, I'm trying. I'm doing my, like, this can't be normal. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Okay, that's gonna be 4. Hey, there it is, but I don't think we can live. We just don't have the sauce. Yeah, if we had gone first, we'd win though. I guess that's the difference. Consult into removal into... No, can't do it. Blocker, take 2, draw 1, die, power up Sanctuary, die. No, can't do it. Our opponent went 1, 2, 3, 4. We played 1 removal on turn 1. Not good enough. So if you truly love combo and Temur, Intimate Power, let's see what they're running. I hope it's Harmonizer. Like, you have to really love this deck to play it, because it's gonna suck a lot. I think my win rate with it right now is very bad, but I'm showing you every single game. And against control, it gets even sadder. Although we do have Bossing Say that tries to put up a fight. And sometimes control decks just have to tap out. The control matchup might be better than I even think it is, because that's often what happens with combo decks. Without our sideboard, it'll be tough. Bossing Say will give him a hard time, though. Pretty spiky play by Timmy Power. Doesn't seem ain't Timmy at all. I mean, that's a no more lies, right? Do we just run stock up into it? I guess. It doesn't get better. You gotta play through these counterspells sometime. We have 28 lands, so drawing a land shouldn't be that hard. Look at all these dead cards. Oof. If they do that, though, in the future, if they tap out for a stock up, we might get them. I guess I consult now. They're tapped out. So that we need this, and we'll take that. Sweet. All right. You tap out, you're dead. They probably know that. But maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I mean, I have a feeling there will be 2 mana open at the end of this exchange. Ta-da. And in that case, let's just make mana happen. We could ramp. Is more mana the answer? It does get past no more lies. Okay, they're well, we know they have a get lost, don't we? Pretty obvious. Once we have double bossing Say going, they might have a hard time. Let's see if this resolves. This can make a lot of threats, so they might not want this to resolve. Oh no, an uncounterable thing. Oh no. Uh-huh. You gonna do something over there? I kind of knew it, but my God, I can't believe it. They actually decided to ramp me. Well, I mean, kinda. I guess that's not super ramp. All right, do I check them for no more lies with my 3 mana? Nope, I'll wait. We're getting a lot of land. They should get lost this. The Earthbender Ascension, but they didn't. 2 Mistrise Villages, a control player who hates control. This is that's such a control thing to do. 2 Harmonizers and a full bore. We could cast 1 Harmonizer and see what they do about it. They are still at 20. Do I just want to get a lot of lands? Maybe I just want to attack them. I have the maps. Maps are good. Maybe they'll draw more lands. I've got a lot of land in my deck. Double full bore, double harmonizer seems fine. Okay. Attack you. You want to kill that? They love uncounterable. Okay. Once you start taking chunks out of them, 3 burst lightnings in the deck does equal 12 damage. So we could potentially have a burn win con. But all they can do, all they want to do is make treasure. You just take a bunch of actions that look small. They don't realize you are the inevitability. Do I try to bounce that treasure? You might tap their mana to try to draw in response. And it did cost them 5 mana to make. I would have to give them a fish, so what's the point, really? Okay. See if we can get land. We cannot. Keep it in the deck. $13. Okay. Let's try a stock up. And suddenly we ran out of lands. You're really gonna fight stock up? Should have done pre-combat, then they'd be more afraid of the Harmonizer. I just didn't think they'd just straight up take the escape tunnel. Okay, fine. Some point, full bore on a land becomes dangerous. Especially since they don't want to kill him. Bleh. I'm sure the editor will cut that. Let's make more creatures that the opponent has to endure. How about you take some more damage, tough guy? Use the no more lies. All right, well, I've got 7 cards. I'll watch you take damage. Sounds fun. So, Ultima? I mean, you keep making treasures, so I can't imagine you're just gonna pop them off. Yep, they are. Okay. So we can burst lightning our own mountain to get that to come back. That's fine. They might no more lies that. Then we're at 6 lands, but we still have Bossing Say. Why would they tap their Fountain Port if they're gonna Ultima? Okay, well, can't stop them from nonsense. They're just gonna do what they're gonna do. Yeah, they can't really counter it, because if I draw a fetch land, they're in big trouble. Goodbye, escape tunnel. Hey, we found our lands. Pretty cool. Earthbend here. Nice and easy. Could Earthbend onto it again, but they're at 7. So stay the course. Like, how are they going to stop taking damage? They're not Jeskai Revelation deck. Get them within 4. A Burst Lightning becomes a real threat. That is a magic card. What's your plan? 2 life and a scry. Sure. Let's see. They still have a No More Lies. Do I just let them block? I guess they have to counter a full bore if I block. They know about one of them, right? This does have trample. It makes the seer really interesting. And then I get to keep my full bore. Maybe they forget about the trample. Okay, get lost again. That could have been a lot worse. Like you're seeing it, the problem in blue-white is you have to know what your end game is. They finally found a demolition field, so that's good for them. But they have to have some real end game. Like if I'm in their shoes, what am I doing? Am I probably making fish and trying to attack this game? Because you gotta actually close. How do you do that? You can't just let Bossing Say pick you apart. I would definitely aggressively be seeking demolition fields to get Bossing Say off the field. Gotta make them try to kill you with the creatures. Okay, their end game is to mill me. Do they have Anomaly? That won't do it. If they're down to 2 cards. This is fine. Last basic. Do I not take this? Because if I can do a Fable Passage, like if I need like a Fable Passage, I need a landfall trigger here, which right now I don't have. I do have 2 full bores and 1 Bossing Say. That plays around most removal. Do I need the land? I think I decline. Feels weird, but true. All right, they've got 2 mana open. That's a bad draw. Have Harmonizer, no land drops. Yep. So it's Earthbend here. They're at 9. I can't kill them. I need landfall triggers. There's one. Yeah. So the last card in the deck is a forest. I can't double full bore. So I can get to 3. I need to get to 4, 5, 6. This is 1. This is 2. So I don't get there. Yuck. Hate that. But you probably just want to hit him as hard as you can, because then Burst Lightning is still live draw. 1, 2. So there's still 1 in the 17 card deck. Still, I think saving for a double is better. Drop him to 3. Also gets you to Burst Lightning range. Because we have enough mana to kick it. If they had no more lives, we'd have seen it. It's too bad I don't have a mountain in the deck. They milled it. If it was a mountain instead of forest, I think we win. So let's see if they can mill the last 17 cards. That was really close. That's river turn. Yep. I mean, I guess So they had their end game and they got it just right. I definitely should have gone for another full bore at some point, and didn't do it. These harmonizers, I died with them. The mid game where I stopped drawing lands was probably the most awkward, terrible part of the experience, because a few more landfall triggers in there with a powered up Ascension earlier probably would have won the game. I don't recommend this deck. I think it's a meta deck that is now facing things it wasn't designed to beat. I think if you want to put in the work to try to adapt it to more of a best of one environment, you can, but that won't be me because creature combo is not my jam. But I'm curious to see, what do you think? Leave a comment. How would you adjust this to the best of one meta and make it work? Thanks for watching. You're cool.